All right, hello. Welcome to the live stream. Let's do video viewers. Hey, Tim, good to see you. How you doing today?
Yeah, and you, David. All good, thank you. Yes, and thanks very much to Kevin Keeler, who did an outstanding job holding the fort. I really enjoyed
Yeah,
that show.
it
I
was
like
great
watching
to
that.
have Kevin here. We should have both of you. We should have all three of us at some point. That'd be a fun
Yeah,
conversation.
that'd be really good. Yeah, look forward to that one.
Well, I'm feeling great. I feel like it's been a productive week. You know, when Friday comes around for me, we all have our different levels of happiness. For me, happiness is largely affected by productivity, just how I am. So I got a lot of stuff done this week. It's Friday. I'm feeling good.
Fantastic, sounds good. Yes, on the subject of productivity, there's a lot going on in the market. So looking forward to our discussion today.
Yeah. Oh, and really quickly, I wanted to thank my friends at Aver for being friends. By the way, we should get your company's logo up here. I was wondering, and viewers, tell me what you think. Is last week I had our friends at MaxHub up here to thank them, and usually I have the Let's Do Video logo. I was thinking of a rotation. Is that too distracting? Different logo every week. So let us know in the chat. Let us know in the well, obviously that's not going to work. Let us know in the comments what you think. But to start our conversation this week, let's talk about what we're using to have our conversation. I notice you're wearing something different. Let's get a little bit of a close up, and I'm using
Yeah,
something
so
different.
so at the moment I'm using my Shocks 110s, I think. So they've got the Teams and Zoom certification, which means that I don't get into that weird state where I'm muting on the hardware device and it doesn't show up on the software. So these I really enjoy. I like running, and I had a pair of aftershocks that I use for running. And for those use cases where you need to have some situational awareness of what's going on around you, they're really good. So if you're a frontline worker working in retail, or you're a work from homer and you're listening out for that Amazon delivery, that knock at the door. For me, these are comfortable to wear and really useful. So it's interesting, trying all these different sorts of form factors with headphones and headsets and finding out which ones work for you. Wearing glasses as well. I don't like the way in which headphones clamp my, clamp
Mm.
the side of my spectacles and push in. So they can be quite uncomfortable if you're on calls all day long. And of course, those US condenser mics, although they are extremely good quality, they can get in the way sometimes when you're on a call. But yeah, it seems to work for me at the moment. I'm very, very grateful for Shocks to supply me with these trial pairs.
Well, I have some thoughts on shocks, but I know that David Danto in the chat. What's my thoughts on what I'm wearing, which is the Poly
Yeah.
Voyager. But first, David Danto, he mentioned that I owe him an article. I might have sent it to the wrong email, but one of the reasons I feel so good this week is I tricked myself. I put in an early due date on that article, and I sent it to you 2 days ago. Now, I might have messed up the email, but I got that article done early, and I'm usually deadline's the 15th. You'll get it on the 15th. So that's part of the
Fantastic.
reason.
So
But
you're
David,
wearing a pair of the new
great to see you.
polys, and
Great to see you in the chat.
yeah, so you're wearing a pair of the new polys. I've got those as well, and I really do enjoy those as well. But there's sometimes when I need to have situational awareness. There's other times, I've had leaf blowers outside. I've used a pair of the new polys with the noise reduction, and they're lovely to wear, really comfortable. And I get the active noise cancellation, the noise reduction, transparency mode, of course, that you can set on the really nice box that they have, the real nice travel case that gives you that visual display, so you can see what's going on around you and have that situational awareness by pressing a simple button on the case. So yeah, I'm those are my two go-to headphones at the moment. Tell me what your experience is with yours.
Well, and I do have the shocks as well. Actually, I have a video. Might as well promote my, on this channel. There's an unboxing of both, and I do like both of them. David Danto found the article. And by the way, thank you for the opportunity. I love being included in that. Thank you, and we'll definitely be promoting it on the stream. So yeah, I've done unboxings of them both. They're both viable. You know what I say at the end is and I like saying this because it's cute, but it's true. Is that we actually wear audio gear, so it's clothing, so it's preference. So some people might just be like, I just cannot stand. I don't care how good these things are. I cannot stand having something in my ear. I'm not going to convince you to. I can't, you know. And so then for something like the shocks, and what's so about if you're looking at Tim, you'll notice it's not in his ear. It's next to his ear. It's this bone conduction thing. It goes through
Yeah.
it's vibrations, and I'm like, oh, vibrations. That's going to be annoying. I in my testing, I didn't find it annoying at all, but it goes through. I think that the medical term is the head bone, which is connected to the neck bone, which is connected to the. But it goes
That's right. Yeah.
right through. Remember that when we were kids, um, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna sound like a little. No, it sounds like you're wearing a headphone. So if you're looking for that option, that's an option. But there's advantages to this. Some people are just more comfortable with this. Um, there's several advantages. One advantage, and like Tim mentioned, it has this really cool case, which I can't show you now. And the reason I can't show you is the reason I'm using this. It has a secret hidden weapon, which is its airplane mode, which is if you want to connect to something that doesn't have Bluetooth. It has a Bluetooth dongle. I could put the Bluetooth dongle into my PC, but I have a hardware mixer because this microphone isn't USB, so I had to get a hardware mixer. So I have all my audio going through there. I want to listen to this through the hardware mixer. I have to. I'm set up for it. Airplane mode. I'm using the airplane
Sorry about the
mode.
distraction. I was just going to show you the actual case. I've got one.
Oh, thank you.
I've got it right here.
Because I can't, because I have it
So,
plugged in. There you go.
This is the very nice case, and it's delightful. It's got a little display on it. I can decide, I can see the charging capability on there. I can turn on the noise cancellation and the different modes that you've got there. The transparency, if I want to hear what's going on around me or speak to someone, I can press transparency mode and speak to them normally without shouting or screaming or taking a bud out. And yeah, they're very well. I love the design of these. They're beautiful, really good.
Yeah, and I'm not using the microphone because I got a fancy schmancy microphone, but in the unboxing I do use the microphone so you can hear the quality. A lot of people in the comments, that's what they really want to know is, how does the microphone perform? They want me to take it outside and go driving around. They really are curious about the microphone, and I'm not going to start switching midstream, so you got to watch the video for that. But that airplane mode allows me to use that's just for me, but it's also for anyone who flies in an airplane. But it's just a nice form factor. I like the way they click into the charger case. I love the fact that the charger case is wirelessly chargeable. I put it on the same little magic pad that I put my iPhone on, and it just charges. I like magnets. I like wireless charging. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it's nice to see, leading vendors coming out with different form factors. So they're really thinking about this stuff from a frontline worker perspective. If I'm going into the office, I'd much rather listen to these on my commute in via train and then plug it into my laptop working in a noisy office rather than taking a pair of headphones with me. It's just ideal for travel. Yeah. So really great to see people looking at different use cases and these different form factors to address all of those different needs. It's really good.
Yeah, and it's not just us. I'm seeing a lot of buzz about these on both of them on Twitter, on UC Twitter that we follow.
So that's what we're using. And so what are we going to talk? We sort of alluded to productivity. What's going on out there in the market that we need to talk about this week?
Well, the big news is, it's funny because every time we cover a Zoom acquisition, we say Zoom, who is notorious for not ever doing acquisitions, but they really, it's really true. They really don't do a lot.
There was that one time with Five9, and then they just decided to do it themselves anyway. So but
the ones they've done have been notable. Was it Solvent? I'm bad at names.
Solvi with the conversational AI capabilities there that are now moved into Zoom IQ, which I was on an analyst briefing the other day, and that was incredible. All of these intelligent recaps, we've been seeing it. We saw it at Enterprise Connect and we heard about it, but that was the first time I experienced it, and that was amazing to be able to catch up and look at the different highlights and the way in which Zoom IQ provides that meeting survey. So I was really impressed with that. I really enjoyed that.
That was a great acquisition.
Yeah, and this latest one, of course, is
let's take a
Vivo,
see if I can.
David?
Oh, can I get the better view here? There we go. Now you can see it.
Excellent.
So, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah, well, Workvivo were founded in 2017, I believe. They're used by the likes of some very prestigious companies. So Mercedes-Benz, Amazon, Bupa Healthcare in the UK, for example. $38 million in venture capital with, I think, an angel investor from Eric himself from Zoom.
Yep.
Over 100 plus employees, 1 million users. And it's being positioned as an a employee experience platform. But from those of you that have got heritage and tenure in the industry, this would have been sort of more akin to the enterprise social network moniker that we used to
Mm-hmm.
talk about, the likes of Jive Software and Yammer and Workplace by Facebook. And there may have been a few others, but that market seemed to decimate when Yammer acquired by Microsoft in 2012. And that was a 1.2 billion acquisition. And then so Murali Sitaram, a bit of history and context here. Murali Sitaram was initially at Cisco, and he came up with the idea of Cisco Quad, an enterprise social platform in 2010. That then became WebEx Social, and then that was retired in 2017. And Murali went and joined Yammer, who were acquired by Microsoft. Microsoft then went through all sorts of interesting challenges, I would say. It became now, let me see if I got this right. Teams communities, and now it's Viva Engage. But it's all around enterprise social and the social intranet. So Workvivo have sort of reinvented this and reimagined it in 2017, having learned all of the, one would hope, learning all the failures or the complexities of those companies that went before them. So I think it's a really interesting string to Zoom's bow, particularly if you look at Cisco, because Cisco acquired Postpath for email and calendaring in 2008. Then they introduced Cisco Quad in 2010, and WebEx Social was then retired in 2017, and Postpath never came to fruition. It never came to market. So it almost feels like Zoom are treading in the similar footsteps, but I almost feel like the timing is right here. I feel that Cisco were perhaps a bit too early. I feel like with Zoom and the way in which they're providing more of a collaboration platform around Zoom One, I feel like the timing's really great as a potential viable rival to Microsoft Office 365 and the whole suite there.
I'm so glad you were here because I have a I mean, I come to the same conclusion, but I'm so bad at names. I did not remember all those details, and it's important to really understand that this isn't something the industry has dabbled with before. Now we're getting right. There were efforts. There was money spent. This was a big deal. First of all,
Yeah,
hi,
lots
Katie's
of
in
money.
chat. Good to see you, Katie. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. But you know the takeaway that I have is, you know, first impression is, hold on a second, Facebook for work. I hate Facebook. This is Facebook for work, but it makes sense because people spend all day on Facebook. They like that way of connecting with their contacts and getting their information and escalating to video, escalating to audio. They like the Facebook workflow with social with their friends. So give them that same workflow at work and but at this time it's your projects and your files and just have it in the same. It makes so much sense. How could it possibly not work? But it didn't work. We tried it, we tried it, we tried it, and people much smarter than me. It's not like, well, they were dumb and they did it wrong. No, no, no. They're much smarter than me. They did it right. It didn't work. It didn't click. It didn't take. But timing, post pandemic, this is a
Yeah.
different world we live in. Now maybe it will work. And again, Zoom has made like very few acquisitions and they've been good acquisitions. So when something fails and fails and fails, it's easy to say, ha ha, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna look dumb if this succeeds. You know, this might be again, like you said, timing.
Well, I think it's quite interesting with Microsoft because Microsoft had a big sort of positioning difficulty, I think, and they put some marketing around internal and external circles, I think, with Yammer and Teams. So the whole idea was that Teams was designed for high velocity communication within a team, and that would be your inner circle. And then the outer circle would be communication outside of your little project teams with departments and interdepartmental stuff that was going on. And that was the whole idea of using Yammer. But initially, so what's happened out there is you get a lot of teams and channel sprawl with hundreds of people on Teams channels, and you can't keep track of what the heck's going on. And it's like, where was that file? I got an app mention here, and it all becomes very, very challenging. So Zoom, if it's all integrated well, and it's all on the same platform, and they found that way of understanding, when Teams chat should then be escalated to more of an organizational social sort of environment. If they get that right, hopefully when they get that right, then I think it's going to be a very interesting proposition.
I still think the right way to do it is for one of these companies to buy Discord and make it Discord for business. Because
Interesting.
I use Discord for so much stuff, and it allows me whenever we're having this conversation, we talk about the challenges of these business communications applications. I'm like, I could do that on Discord. I've solved that problem on Discord. But Discord it's a gamer platform, and it is not secure. It is not ready for business. I'm not recommending you use it for your business, even though I do use it for mine. But they got to match that workflow, and they're adding, the Microsoft Teams, Zooms. They've been looking. I see them adding features, but I feel like Discord just has it.
Well, the interesting thing as well, you've got to add features that are meaningful and add value. I mean, quite frankly, and it's probably an age thing, I'm not sure that Snapchat-like filters on a conference call are really going to add to anything. I'm not sure that moving background video images are going to be good. Great on a stream that you're doing here, David, but I'm not sure it's going to add any value to anything on a meetings, a professional business meeting. Avatars, fantastic. So just because you can do something doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to add any value to your productivity. Whereas, if Zoom get this right with the Workvivo acquisition and manage to tread between, and it's a very careful tightrope, if they're able to tread between team communication, collaboration, and departmental enterprise type collaboration, then I think that's a real good move forward. More and more they're getting, they originated in the meeting space, and they're moving more and more away into a collaboration platform, whereas Cisco WebEx has notoriously been, a market leading meetings and conferencing platform, but now Next and the IMI mobile acquisition, so more on a customer engagement side of things. There's a lot of brand stretch there between Cisco that's happening, but Zoom has done it in a very short period of time, in a very condensed period of time. And it's going to be a really interesting market and a really interesting proposition to watch.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to chat. I think, obviously I've been appreciative of Zoom for quite a while. I'm known for liking Zoom because I've been focused on video, and Zoom was good at video early, and Zoom has been better at video, arguably for a long time. But everyone's getting good at video. Everyone's getting good at video. It is what it is. And you can argue, oh, but there's still, a little better here or there. I still think people prefer them. Just anecdotally, what I see, even the other ones that are arguably just as good now, people are like, why aren't we using Zoom? I like Zoom. People still like it, but the major differentiators are fading away. And for every hour I spend in video, I spend 5 hours in chat. We live in chat. And if we have little frustrations in chat, or little things we love about chat. I love this one chat because it lets me do bigger files. That's where people are going to want to centralize their platform. And they are going to want to centralize their platforms. People are getting really sick of being on all three.
Well, the other area that I thought of really was the ability or the potential to use Workvivo not only as an internal platform, but as a way of bringing together external communities as well. So although there's some large enterprises there, you might find small to medium-sized businesses could potentially leverage this platform to provide some sort of community framework around you know product around the brandings and around the companies that adopt it. So customers, partners, suppliers, they could all leverage this platform potentially for to build an external community. So there's some really interesting dynamics and potential here that I'll be interested to see how it plays out. I think it's a good
That
move.
makes it interesting to me because that's one of the things that I think that's lacking from business team chat. And it's not completely lacking. Some have features that allow it, but I don't see a lot of it is uh, um, creating communities for users. I'm
No.
a product. I'm a whatever brand of mouse pad this is. I don't go to this company's Microsoft Teams chat to communicate with them. I don't go to their Zoom chat to communicate with them. They might have a Discord if they're a newer company. Elgato, my Stream Deck, Elgato has a Discord. I can go in there. I can get support. Um, but I don't think Elgato will have a team chat that I can go in and get support. That's for their company. So I love the idea if this acquisition is going to allow Zoom to have a way for companies to connect with their users, their partners, their communities. That's super powerful.
Yeah. And so what's interesting there as well is if you own the email, the business chat, the content, that essentially then becomes a system of record on which you can leverage AI to do some nice, clever stuff. And that was what Microsoft were discussing yesterday with their Copilot announcement and their release there, how Copilot is going to use generative AI to be able to help you craft better Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, help you edit your words, help you edit your Outlook email, those sorts of things. So it's all about systems of record. And I think that Zoom is building one around communications, collaboration, content. And therefore you can see the potential. It's very exciting, I think.
I think Copilot's one of the better names for AI, by the way. Yeah, just I'm
Yeah.
always have a thing. I'm always looking at marketing, and Copilot. Okay, that works.
Yeah, I would have liked First Officer because I like
Uh,
I call out to David Danto. Him and I were exchanging comments around Picard, the series on TV. So I like the idea of First Officer from my Trekkie days.
I love
But
Star Trek,
yeah,
but
it has to be co-pilot. You don't want to call it a pilot because, of course, that has the perception that it's taking over everything. So
yeah,
it's someone that can help in the event of yeah,
yeah. There's not two co-pilots. There's a pilot and a co-pilot. You're still the
exactly.
pilot,
Yeah,
hopefully. Yeah, I
yeah,
got
but
called out
it's
recently. Someone, I'm producing a podcast for someone, and they asked me to come up with 10 fun questions to ask the guest. So I got 10 fun questions to ask a podcast guest, and they said, "Yeah, can you come up with some that aren't from ChatGPT?" And
yeah.
I'm like, you don't know me, but yeah, come on. If you're asking
I
me
mean,
for 10 suggestions at this point, that's where I'm going.
yeah. What I really like about this is these are leaps forward in productivity, or the potential leaps forward in productivity are huge, and it's not all about like I said, avatars or Snapchat filters for video and whizzy backgrounds. These are big game changing, huge leaps forward in innovation. And you know what happens, and we saw at Enterprise Connect, there is very little differentiation between each of the leading platforms out there now.
Yes.
It really comes down to one or two features, and of course that's got the shelf life of cream because the next release, the next month, the next week, your rival's got it. So you have to differentiate in a huge area that customers will find valuable.
Yeah,
And I think this is
they're
it.
using
These
this
are
version of ChatGPT to help write the next version of ChatGPT, so it's going to get faster and faster and faster. So that you led to a great point. I asked Kevin this question. I want to ask you the same question because I'm still a little confused because you're right that I don't see a lot of differentiation. I see these meeting summaries and they're all amazing and they all kind of sound the same and they're all brilliant. But Microsoft spent $10 billion on theirs. Zoom could not possibly have spent $10 billion in this because they don't have $10 billion. So, but they're the
No,
same. So is Microsoft's no Microsoft's is going to be $10 billion better than Zoom somehow? If so, how? What am I missing?
I'm not. I'm really not too sure about how the machine language and large language models and the algorithms get trained. Well, I know how they get trained. They get trained by systems of record and by you passing all of that data through them to train the algorithms. But huge investment. I guess they get first mover advantage. You can understand and make sense of what it means for them and what it potentially will do to an enterprise. And then you've got all of the others that are out there busy sort of selling AI and conversational models and agent bots and chat bots. They're doing that already. There's nothing precluding those companies from leveraging ChatGPT as a platform either. So it's going to be like an AI arms race to providing the best platforms, but they can all be replicated very easily. That's the thing.
It's
It's all
amazing. I
down to end
actually
user experience, though, David, isn't it? I mean, if I have to go out of my user interface to use a social, enterprise social intranet, or go into something else to combine my calendar, or go into something else to do my email and my business chat, it's a lot of tax on your switching. There's a lot of switching costs. There's a lot of
toggle tax.
mucking about. Yeah, toggle tax. Yeah, there we go.
It's a real thing. It
But
sounds
if you,
silly, but it's a real thing.
it is, yeah, and those switching costs, the mental, oh, I've switched out of that, and now I need to go into this. That context switching is mentally taxing as well. So whoever can do it in a nice user interface without you having 15 different buttons and 20 different tabs and all sorts of little sort of areas that you have to click on, whoever can get that right, I think will certainly lead in the battle for user experience.
Well, I have a thought on that, but first, we have Dave Michaels in the chat. How cool is
Oh,
that?
excellent.
Yeah. And you're gonna have to. I'm not smart enough to answer Dave Michaels' question, so. Um,
Uh-oh. Okay. I can't see it, so let's see which one it
Microsoft is
is.
looking at MS 365, Teams plus Office plus Exchange plus SharePoint. Zoom scope is much narrower. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, what's interesting there, and I'd be interested to hear Dave's perspective, but I almost feel like if Zoom or other competitors can almost like ring fence Microsoft in their E1 plan, which gives you all of that OneDrive storage, all of that Office 365, the PowerPoint, the Excel, the Word. If it can give you the email and calendaring, and you integrate with that, and if you can have, you've got all of that capability in an E1 plan with all that storage, email, calendaring, and the Office productivity apps. If you can then turn around and say, well, instead of going to the E3 or the E5 plan with Microsoft Teams, invest that money with this platform, we'll integrate with everything else, and we can show you where you can get a distinct advantage that's meaningful for you and your business, you're onto a winner there.
Yeah, I feel like 6 months ago we were all laughing about how everyone's talking platform, 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 and now it's like 365 comes with Teams, Excel's in there, all the other stuff. The platform argument is real now, and I'm hearing it
Yeah,
from
it's
users too. I'm
compelling.
hearing it from
Yeah.
users too. They're saying we really want to just choose. We literally have meeting rooms with both, and we can't. They can't yet, but they want to. They would love to choose one platform. So
Yeah, and all of Microsoft's rivals integrate with Teams as well. So it's going to be, and what we've also found in our research is that there is a bit of consolidation going on out there in the enterprise market with some of those economic headwinds sort of having an effect. But you will find different vendors' platforms being used for different use cases. And it might be Microsoft Teams internally, it might be Zoom for webinars, it might be Cisco WebEx for something else. There are multiple use cases with multiple platforms that are used by big enterprises. There's no one size fits all.
no,
We're seeing on average between 3 and 6 different platforms being used in large scale enterprises. There is some consolidation going on, but it's going to be interesting to see how those use cases develop. And I think fundamentally, I really believe if it's easy for a user to use, you're going to get the most traction based on employee experience.
It's funny. We have some more great questions in the chat, but a quick thought on experience. All of us in the analyst community, for as long as I've been in here, everyone in chat, we've been saying it's about the experience, and we feel like the industry has been like, here's more pixels, here's more interop connectivity, here's more efficient protocols in the background. People are like, experience, and no one's been listening to us. And with ChatGPT, all it is just a leap forward in experience. The capabilities have been there for not for years and years, but for 2 or 3 years. I've been able to, after a meeting, type in a chat thing /meeting summary and get a meeting summary. I've been able to type in chat /Trello add card new project and have it. I've been able to do all those things, but it was a terrible user experience. I don't like typing /bot do thing. I like typing Copilot make or saying Copilot make a new Trello card, or saying Copilot give me my meeting summary, and have the meeting summary be like, okay, David, here's what you need to know. It's just user experience. That's all it is. It's not magic. It's not better information at all. Sometimes it's worse, but it's just user experience.
I would say, what I would say is a little bit of magic, because it's not easy magical to design. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a magical experience because vendors have taken the time to look at the experience, and it's not easy to make something simple. I look at some of these applications. I mean, take, for example, Word. There are so many buttons that I haven't pressed on, so many menus that I've never dived down. Why are they permanently there? Why can't I get rid of them? Why?
Premiere Pro is my bane. Premiere Pro is so powerful, but oh my God, I feel like an idiot using that thing. So hard.
You get so much creeping scope because, customers have asked for this feature or that feature or something else, and it takes discipline to be able to focus on what you want to provide. And it's a happy experience with Zoom. It's easy, it's ease of use, and that seems to resonate very well with a number of their clients.
I just remembered, I have one quick chat GPT story before we get to the questions in chat. David and Dave have questions for us in chat, but I looked into, for my guitar stream, I use a bot for my guitar stream, and I'm learning some very basic code, little tiny bits. I could do a little C# code stuff.
That's quite apt, being a guitar, C#. Sorry.
It is perfect. So I got to the point there when I start playing a song, it knows what song I'm playing. So it could put it on screen and whatever. The name of the song, the bot says, David is about to play, Van Halen Panama. So I looked into, someone made a connector for this bot to ChatGPT using the API, ChatGPT's API. So I could ask it, and I came up with this idea. Give me a fun fact about this song. Give me a fun fact about Van Halen Panama. And it works, but I can't do it because the API is expensive. You have to pay for it. And I'm worried that if a bunch of people start requesting songs, I might go broke. So I figured out how to limit it, but it does work. But the problem is the fact that it gave me was for the in Panama, there's a place where it sounds like a car engine. They said it wasn't really a car engine. Instead, Eddie Van Halen used his Lamborghini. And I'm like, a Lamborghini's a car. It doesn't know that a Lamborghini. It doesn't know that a Lamborghini is a car. I'm like, you know what? I can't even use this. But it does. It's possible to make that connection. The applications are just anything you could think of.
Yeah. What were those questions, David?
Yes. Well, David,
as you're talking about Panama, I was thinking, when you're talking about Panama, I thought it's either going to be the canal, the cigar, or the hat.
Oh, you don't know the song?
It was none of those.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm gonna go away and I'm gonna ask Spotify to play that for me later, I think.
It's back when people had hair like this in the 80s.
Oh, cool. Sounds good.
So David Danzo made a point that it's sad that video quality has taken a back seat. It really has. It used to be a resolution race. We were on our way to 4K, and now we're going back down, it seems like. And I think a lot of people are okay with that. I don't know if you guys need to see me in 1080p. Maybe 10 years ago I could be in 1080p, but I'm like 720. Another few years, let's go down to 480.
well, maybe not in meetings, but certainly for webinars. If you want that studio broadcast quality experience and that's your corporate brand, you definitely need that video quality up there. So maybe we'll see meetings and one-to-one face-to-face meetings over video. 720 is acceptable, but you want 4K when it comes to webinars and studio broadcast quality sort of
Also,
production value,
also in
that
meeting
production
rooms.
value. Yeah.
I'm always
Yes.
thinking
Yeah.
about webcams because I'm sitting at home here, and I have more than I'm actually using a Poly P15 just to say it's overpowered for my use. It's more than I need. But meeting rooms, a lot of meeting rooms are fitted with something less than what I have here. And we definitely have a situation, and we talk about it a lot. But it's still true that people from working from home look better in Zoom and MS Teams and WebEx than the people in the meeting rooms. But we all know that the industry is responding to that. We all know what needs to be done. It's just going to take a while to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Dave Michaels wants to know, do we think MS Teams users will push back on Copilot? He's heard several uncomfortable responses. People think it's big brothery from the AC keynote. See, that's why they're calling it Copilot, just to address that fear.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm trying to think from my organizational psychology days. There was people that spoke about the 5 different types of power, and there was coercive, informational, referent power, all around organizational psychology. And I have a feeling that technology is there in terms of providing you with productivity breakthroughs, but organizational culture is a huge area that's going to have to shift, because there are managers out there that hang on to information as a currency or as capital, and the withholding or the sharing of that information gives them some degree of power. And if they're not going to want you to sign up to Copilot as an organization, if they feel that that's what they have to offer their business. So I think there's going to be some very interesting areas around discoverability, as well as these organizational culture shifts. So, for example, I heard that there was a car manufacturer out there that put their code for their engine management system through ChatGPT, and then all of a sudden they realized, well, that's now out in the public domain. So all that intellectual property that you've got is now publicly available. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of information that's out there in an organization that suddenly gets surfaced that maybe management, senior management don't want you to hear about, or should have been in some way classified, restricted. So I think there's going to be some very interesting developments around where this all goes.
Well, those are, by the way, that was a great answer. Those are like the high level concerns. But what about, and maybe I'm trying to read Dave Michaels' mind, what about the users in the trenches? The people who, I'm not the security IT person. I'm just, I'm doing code, or I'm a graphics designer way down in this big company. And all of a sudden, when I get out of my Zoom meeting, there's this robot saying that I was being argumentative with my boss. What's going on here? Because there was in that demo, there was, what's the mood of the meeting? Oh, these two were disagreeing about this, and this person chimed in, and it was like, some people might just be like, I don't trust this bot. What if this bot's out to get me? What if this bot wants to get me fired? Why is this bot making me look bad?
Yeah, it is. You were confrontational in your one-to-one meeting, and then all of a sudden it sets you up for the next meeting with HR, and it'd be like, yeah. I mean, I have no idea where this is all going to end, but I think we're only just scratching the surface. It's with any technology, you get a breakthrough technology, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow. So this opens up the floodgates for all sorts of different all sorts of different implications: security, discoverability, legal. That there is compliance. There's just so much there that could potentially go wrong or go right, that we've only just started scratching the surface.
And it knows stuff, right? If I'm 2 minutes late for a meeting, it'd be like, yeah, David does that a lot. And I could be like, no, I don't. And it could be like, out of the last 37 meetings, you were 3 minutes late or more 16 times. I mean, it would know. I don't like that. Not that I'm always late to my meetings, potential clients, but
what I want is ChatGPT to turn around and say this meeting should have been an email. Or this meeting should have been, you should have just recorded it because you left no space for question and answer. There was no interaction. You should have recorded this and posted it up on a social networking site, a social intranet site. That
It
would be
is going. I
fantastic.
think it is going to do that.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I don't think that's far away at all. All right. Is there anything we forgot? I feel like I want to keep going because I'm enjoying this, but it's been 41. Has it been 41
Yeah,
minutes? It feels like 20.
no, it's been interesting and bit of a history lesson there. All I really wanted to do at the outset was say this has been tried before, um, give you some context as to what's happening and where things might go. It's that companies have tried this before, but I've got my eyes firmly on Zoom and what they're going to be doing there.
I'm not going to be the one to say that it's not going to work. I'm not going to be that guy because again, timing. All right, thanks so much. This was
Absolutely.
awesome. Thanks everyone in the chat. Really appreciate you being here. It
Yeah,
means a
great
lot.
comments. Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed for watching.
See you in 2 weeks.